Yeah, ladies and gentlemen watching me, once again, this is Reuben Habaasa, a prophet messenger of God Most High. This is Reuben Habaasa, a prophet messenger of God Most High. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Beloved people of God, I have a message for you. My message is still on sexual act, but in this message, I will talk about marriage. Sexual act. Remember, I have always told you that the original sin is the sexual act. Sexual act was the original sin. And the original plan of God for sex, it was for reproduction, to have children. But when man sinned through sex, everything changed. Human beings go for sex for pleasure. Human beings go for sex for healthy purposes. Hallelujah, hallelujah. But the original plan of God, it was sex to be for reproduction, to bear children. So if had it not been sin through the sexual act, we would be like animals, like birds, only having sex for reproduction. But the outcomes of the sexual sin, the sexual act as an original sin, when human beings go for sex for pleasure and for healthy purposes. Because when man sinned, sickness came, diseases came. Hallelujah. Let me talk about marriage briefly. Marriage, biblically, it was man and a woman staying together under one roof, having children together sexually. They build a home together as husband and wife, and they live the whole of their future together. And the third party involved in marriage were not governments or servants of God, but parents. Because the parents of a daughter had a responsibility to bring up their daughter and teach them in a way that they are prepared to be wives. Parents of a daughter, they had a responsibility to teach and bring up their daughter in a way that she qualifies to be a wife. In the days of Moses, according to the law of Moses, a girl would remain under the authority of the father until when she finds a boy to marry her. And this boy would get this girl from the authority of her parents by giving them something. And the parent of a son also had the responsibility of bringing up their son and teaching him to be a husband. And when the boy is ready to be a husband, they would help him acquire a wife. For example, in the days of Abraham, when Isaac, his son, was 40 years, Abraham, his father, instructed his servant to go in the family of Abraham's brother and find a wife for the son. So that's how it was biblically, the marriage. But marriage today, in this evil generation, marriage is founded on the laws of religions. Marriage is founded on governments. Different governments and different religions, they have different types of marriages. Yes. Different governments, different religions, they have different types of marriages. Today, most parents have denied their duty to teach their sons and daughters. Remember, these sons and daughters are not born husbands and wives. They need to be taught the laws of marriage and the nature of man and woman. When you don't know the nature of man and woman, you will always suffer in your marriage. When you don't obey the laws of marriage, you will never enjoy marriage. Nowadays, daughters introduce their men to be their husbands to their parents. And this is evil. Girls, the daughters, they just introduce their men to be their husbands to their parents. Men and women enter marriage when they don't have any true knowledge about marriage. Boys and girls enter marriage when they are not prepared to be husbands and wives. Boys and girls, they enter marriage when they are not ready as husbands and wives. When they are not prepared as husbands and wives. Originally, it would be the parents of the sons and daughters to bless the new marriage. Originally, it would be the parents of the sons and daughters to bless the new marriage. But today, in this evil generation, it is the religious leaders and the governments that bless the new marriages. Can you imagine? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. In Christianity today, marriage is founded on the laws that were made by Roman Catholic religion. Marriage covenant laws, which we don't see in the Bible, wedding rings, which are not biblical. And in most nations today, marriage are made in governments through lawyers. And it is the governments that permit religions to wed couples into marriages. And according to the permit given to religious leaders to wed, religious leaders are supposed to pay some fee to the governments after charging the wedded couples. That's how it is today, indicating that marriages are just founded on governments and religious laws. Most marriages today are like prisons, fire and hell. Most marriages today are like prisons, fire and hell. In most of the parts in the world, like in India and China, some parts, they don't have any form of marriage at all. They do not have any practice that could be considered as marriage. In these people, adult women live with their mothers and siblings. And in Qatar, marriages are very few. In South America, some parts of Asia and Europe, they recognize civil marriages only. Civil marriages, marriages under governments. In North America, Australia, and some parts of America, for them they recognize civil marriages and religious marriages, even in Africa. Hallelujah, hallelujah. In most of Western countries on the globe, marriages are made on contract. Can you imagine? Marriages are made on contract. Today, through human rights campaigns, many countries have legalized same-sex marriage. The world today is definitely a weird place at times. A man who was best known, there is a man who was best known for having sex with a dolphin. He made headlines and he had many followers. In many countries like Canada and US states, bestiality is still legal. You can legally marry a dog in India. In states like Colorado, Washington, Miami, Pennsylvania, Kansas, Nevada, your dog can be your official wedding witness. Can you imagine? So the enemy, the evil one, the devil, is using marriage to separate man from God, separate human beings from God, their creator. I, Reuben Habaasa, a prophet messenger of God Most High, God has given me a message to the marrieds and those who want to marry and those who want to get married. And when you obey this message, your marriage will be peaceful, and you will have a long life in your marriage, and you will bear the fruits of marriage, and your marriage will be covered by the glory of God. Shalom, shalom. I remain Apostle Reuben Habaasa, a prophet messenger of God Most High. My WhatsApp number is +256 779 22 30 07. My WhatsApp number +256 779 22 30 07. Shalom, shalom.